we're gonna be hitting breakpoint early next month, meaning I'll be there from from November 1st till November 7th, 8th, actually November 8th, uh, joining the Hacker House in the
Sì, but
beginning,
don't
and
peek.
then to the main conference. I see subscribers. Thank you so much, Tarayush. I also saw that Nanko subscribed. Oof, Perts as well. Ooh, man, thank you everybody for supporting. Thank you for being here during the bear. Thank you, like for I don't know, making the right choices so you can actually be here. What are we gonna say today? Of course, we're gonna have a bear reminder because we're deep into the bear, and you can't really forget that. You can't really allow the sirens to pull you into isolated narratives. Don't believe them. Don't allow the narrative to overcome your logic. Of course, we're going to go through some portfolio basics and reminding everyone that, hey, there is no sponsorships, nobody's paying for this. Uh, this is just a fun journey through cryptocurrencies. And you shouldn't obviously take any financial advice from random people on the internet, and especially those weirdos with the thick accents, triple C over there. Um, what else? Yes, of course, we're gonna have to talk about Aptos. Do a brief look on Aptos, just a reminder of what Aptos is, a quick reminder of what wallet we're using for Aptos, a little bit of a personal opinion of what Aptos is doing and what's happening with the VCs and the people and the coins. Uh, and a couple of thoughts about Aptos' launch today and listings tomorrow. Yeah, lots of personal opinions. Obviously, it should not be any financial advice on any of these on these topics, and especially on these ones. And we'll definitely go through it. What else? What else? Oh yes, I definitely want us to go through what is it called? Hades swap. It's a marketplace from the future, an NFT marketplace from the future. Let's talk a little bit about how it works. Let's visit it, and also talk a little bit about the pools, some strategies, some remind a little bit about the problems and the dangers of liquidity pools. Really fun stuff. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, of course we're gonna lastly go through some breakpoint events, some things that I will be joining. I think it's crucial for any DAO enthusiasts that are going to be in Lisbon those days. Should actually join them, and I'll share some links where you can sign up. And if you have a monkey, make sure you're in Discord. Make sure in their Telegram, in their Lisbon Telegram. They have so many events. If you're gonna go networking over there, make sure you're holding a monkey. And if you don't want to actually spend so much soul to buy the JPEG, just go rent it on Cardinal. Join the market, join the Discord, and take it through there. Uh, I see all the lovely friends from the Badano here, a long time viewer. I see Vajrus, another long time viewer, Perts as well, lovely Perts, Aki Samano, Nanko. Uh, I'm really happy Nanko also joined the Grape DAO. I'm really happy Nanko is actually going down the path to create some accounting standards for the DAO. I think all these things can be actually converted into templates for other DAOs to use, for other DAOs to classify correctly and in the same manner all their inflows and outflows, so we can have some kind of common standards, so we can communicate easier, and eventually once we create a better analytics platform for DAOs, we'll have those variables listed as well. uh, I see the Badano says that he rented an SNB and the Discord is still gated. Did you go through their matrica verification? Please, like, try that. I know other people that did it. I can actually ask them out. I see we have Roda Studio talking in his gibberish language, and which I also happen to understand. Which he's claiming that I'm talking too fast and he can't understand. After 142 episodes and over 400 hours of streaming, I think that those who can understand are the majority. So yeah, I see Skynet Cap saying good morning to anywhere you are. Uh, oh, the Badano is stating that there is a change here and there is a message specifically about renting, and you can't really rent a monkey to sign up for the events. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Although, no, I'm not gonna advise you to actually go to the events without any invitation. Just try to get in through with the monkey at hand, because they're already like kind of selling out. The links have gone public, and everybody's signing up like crazy. Even people that don't really have monkeys are signing up, and it's creating a headache to other people. Uh, So let's enough with my silly face. Let's just switch to the desktop stuff. A little bit of a whoa, no, that's the main desktop. A little bit of a reminder, lovely friends, that we are in the bear times, and we are in hopefully in the beginning of phase 3 of a bear period, where there is silence and no hope in the landscape. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're still on phase 2, where there are isolated narratives and there are coins and projects that go against the tide. But I'm hoping we're slowly solidifying our position in the bear. I know lots of you out there are bullish. I spoke with a couple during the past week, and I see people are bullish for a short term kind of bull run and then a crash into oblivion. I'm not part of this school. I think we can crash on the crash. I don't think we need to actually go up in order to crash. There is high chance we can go further down from there. At the same time, I'm extremely uh, cautious and I'm looking out for the Euro USD rate. I'm looking for the Fed rate and what they're doing, if they're actually increasing it. They've overdone it the past year. I'm looking at the war in Ukraine and all these black swan events that we've been hit with the past couple of years. If you think of the COVID and it being still active in a couple of countries around the world, lots of unvaccinated people around the world. Not all borders are open. Was looking to go snowboarding in Japan this year. Yeah, you can only enter with a tour. Yeah, not for me. So yeah, lots of black swans happening. So I'm more into the bearish, cynical school of thought, and I'm not seeing any kind of pump. At the same time, uh, there are isolated NFT narratives that are happening. I don't think they are sustainable, and we've seen a lot of talk about royalties and stuff like that. I think it's a convenient way to end the mini bull run in the middle of desperate times. I think that we are the market, and if we're using exchanges and to buy and sell projects that we do not wish to support with royalties, it shows not only who we are, it also shows who the players that the market is comprised by. I think it shows that there are teams that have actually put up with no royalties for quite some time, and then there are other communities and traders that are going to actually use an exchange and actually use something that will deliver royalties to the team, and then there are those projects that either traders don't want to or just are neutral about it and will use some kind of alternative. So we are the market. I think this is just a convenient way to end the mini narrative of NFT bull runs, Utes, and ABCs and stuff like that. I've been asked by multiple people if they should buy critters. I don't have a critter. I'm not looking to join the critter revolution. I think that the whole narrative was spawned just because Anatolian Raj used it as their profile picture. So no, in my mind is no. So yes, it's bear times. Don't get shaken out. Don't believe in isolated narratives. Don't go all-ins. Don't play with big bets. Don't touch uh, margin and leverage. And yeah, don't have any strong conviction about any direction. Let's see where it goes. For those that are super new, need to I need to disclose that my biggest asset in percentage wise in my portfolio is Bitcoin. I've been a Bitcoiner since late 2014. I've my second asset in the portfolio is stablecoins, mostly USDC. We've gone through this journey over the streams since early 2021 when we started streaming. We said when we're gonna sell. We said that we're definitely not gonna catch the top. But hey, funny thing, we kind of caught the top. So if you wonder why I've ended up with a lot of USDC, it's all documented through the streams. My third asset in the portfolio is Solana. My fourth asset is Ethereum. My fifth asset is Cosmos, and then it goes into shitcoin territory. I usually follow the rule of thumb of anything that's not Bitcoin is a shitcoin. Maybe recent years have had less people supporting such idea. I'm still a believer. I still think that Bitcoin 100,000 is inevitable. But yeah, you do you, I do me, and yeah, we all agree to disagree sometimes. Um, about shitcoins, I have lots of really shitty things in my portfolio. They've ended up there maybe as a graveyard. Maybe they've ended up as some kind of advisory. Maybe they've ended up as a seed allocation through a syndicate. Maybe they've ended up because I want to support someone working for that project. So please don't think because I have some Ethereum shitcoin from 2017 that this is a good idea for you to buy. Like definitely, our risk profiles are different. The depth of our pockets is different. Our point in life is different. Our responsibilities is different. Overall, our investors profile is different, which means different things should belong to your portfolio, and there is no way I can tell you which one are those. So on that note, let's get into Aptos. I think we should start with Aptos. So what is Aptos? What is Aptos? And Aptos has been in development for about 4 years. Apparently, that's what they're saying. These guys, the guys that are actually coding and creating this project, they were former employees of Meta, uh, Facebook, in other words. If you remember back in the day, maybe a couple of years ago, we were all talking about this coin called Libra that is going to be launched by Facebook, and this is going to be used for Facebook transactions and in the Facebook ecosystem with Instagram and all this shit. At some point, this project was scrapped, and everybody was fired. I don't know if they were fired or they chose to quit and take the tech with them. I don't know exactly how Meta allowed them to leave that. Meta had actually developed a programming language called Move in order to create this blockchain. So these guys took the tech and did a private fundraiser. They gathered about 400 million from really big venture capitals like A16Z, like FTX Ventures, and many other like alpha chads from the space. And they started they started their betternet a year ago. They apparently it was going really well. They had some kind of incentivized some kind of incentives for people to participate. Um, and here we are now. We're launching. So what's going on? I have to also say that there is another team coming from the same exactly ecosystem. The ex-employees of Meta, ex-developers of Libra, and they are creating another project called Sui, which is another L1, which is L1s just like Solana, just like Cardano, just like Polkadot, just like all these Ethereum, just like all these ecosystems that support other dApps. Uh, uh, this is what Aptos is doing. This is what Sui is doing. So some say the Solana killer. Definitely a cousin of Solana. Lots of overlapping capital, lots of overlapping teams, lots of overlapping ideas, which of course l- comes from the Ethereum ecosystem. So it's all related, and I'm not surprised to see familiar faces over there. One would say that Aptos rushed to launch in order to kind of front run Sui and have an advantage on the creation of an ecosystem where resources are going to be actually have to be invested into Aptos instead of Sui. There is always an opportunity cost for every developer's team. If they see that, hey, we can make X amount of money now instead of X amount of money later, there is high chance if the money now is really good and close to what they think they can make on the later, they're gonna choose the now. So it's weird. Someone could say, like, lots of people out there. I haven't played with the networks. I'm not a developer, so I can't really say it with conviction. But lots of people over there say that SUI is a better thing, and the only reason that Aptos is launching is to front run SUI. Another huge complaint is we launched today. I'm calling we like I'm part of the ecosystem. Bullshit. Shout out to Dindascape for subscribing through YouTube. If you're typing on YouTube, if you're chatting through YouTube, I can see your chat. So go ahead. So yeah, another huge complaint is Aptos launched today and tomorrow. There is a massive listing events in all the big exchanges from FTX to Binance to KuCoin to everything. Everything is everybody's listing. I can show you. Let me tell you how many exchanges we're gonna have simultaneous launch. It's it's funny. Like Binance, FTX, Huobi, KuCoin, Bybit, OKX, MEXC, Coinbase, and Bidget, Bitget, Bidget, Bidet. So yeah, everybody's listing, which means, think about it, guys. If a coin is being listed in a centralized exchange, the exchange has coins in order to actually create liquidity, and the exchange has market makers in order to populate the order books. So there's going to be coins to be dumped. There is going to be coins. I don't know if there's gonna be dumped, but market maker is a market maker and exchange is an exchange. And they if you read the terms and conditions carefully, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Um, so huge complaint is that there is a huge listing event and we did not have any tokenomics. So these guys, all these exchanges, were going to list something that did not have any explanation of what it is. So I see Ghost typing through YouTube. He's like, "Would you recommend buying straight away?" Uh, TLDR is no. TLDR is no. But I'm gonna talk about some things and some remedies to FOMO. So yeah, let's sit tight and we're gonna go through it. So we're gonna have this massive launch event. We knew about it days now, for weeks now, and we did not have any idea of the tokenomics. We didn't have any idea of how many tokens are going to be floating in the market, how many tokens are locked, who's getting any tokens, like what's going on here. And the Aptos Foundation responded with a really shitty document, and I mean it killed my boner. I'll just put it like that in plain English. Uh, like, what the fuck was that? By the way, I'm drinking some good Greek island pilsner. It's called Nissos. Really good. If anybody has some kind of access to this kind of beers. Cheers, everybody. So they released this thing. I'll share it on the Twitch chat, so you can follow if you want. But so what they're saying, let's just go really fast through it. We launched on October 4th, and this is the breakdown. Community 51%, and everybody goes, "Wow, community 51%." Yeah, wait to see the definition of community, and then you'll tell me if this is community. Core contributors 19%, foundation 16.5, and investors at 3.4, totaling to slightly over 1 billion tokens. Slightly over 1 billion tokens. So we talk about community here, and this is the distribution schedule for the community and the Aptos Foundation. So it says that the majority of the tokens, about 410 million, are held by the foundation. So do you realize that 410 million out of these 675, if we add community and foundation, are actually held by the community, and a smaller portion, 100 million, held by Aptos Labs. So 510 million, which I assume it's this, lowly friends, uh, uh, is not held by the community, is held by the foundation and the labs. And it's, yeah, it's vested and it's gonna be distributed over a 10-year period. Then you have 125 million APT for, which I think this is from the foundation part, uh, which is for to support the ecosystem project. So we're gonna see this in the form of payments in kind of bug bounties, in development bounties, in hackathons, in so many things, and foundation initiatives, yada 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 yada. Nobody cares. So, by the way, quick reminder to everyone, this was only sold to private investors. There was no way for any retail investor to participate. There was no IDO, no ICO, no nothing. This was sold directly to privates. It was by the VCs, for the VCs, and nobody has access to it. Now, it's good to know that about 800 million out of the 1 billion tokens is locked into vesting contracts and is going to slowly release. But there's another 200 million that obviously is distributed around exchanges, is distributed to, I don't know who has them, that are not locked and could potentially be dumped into retail. So pretty terrible tokenomics, if you ask me, because investors, there is no public in here, and community is fake. And I see this, and I see no community. Now, the airdrops have not been actually been given yet, which means if there is some kind of huge pump, the people that have supported early the network are not going to be able to take any profit, since they're not going to be able to have access to their coins prior to the listing event. At the same time, neither investors have access to to any funds, so there is not going to be any immediate dump by investors. Hopefully. Uh, so and in the end, there is this big, huge disclaimer in bold, which says this is not an offering or the solicitation of an offer to purchase tokens. This document contains hypothetical, hypothetical, forward-looking, projected figures which are not guaranteed. Actual numbers may vary. Aptos makes no presentation or warranty, express or implied, as to the competencies or accuracy of this presentation, and it's subject to change without notice. So it says that this is hypothetical, and we cannot be held responsible to anything we say here, and we can not going to be questioned about accuracy, and we can change this text without any notice. So this is the response of the Aptos Foundation to most probably to Kobe, who's this super influencer, all coins influencer, and host of Only Up TV, on exactly that topic, saying how are you listing something without releasing some kind of documentation? How are you going to fucking list this? Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows where the coins are. Pretty terrible. For Maverick is mentioning no vesting. No, there is vesting. There is vesting, and it says here no APT available for the first 12 months. This is for core contributors and investors, which is actually the other two. Uh, so community we talked about, foundation we talked about, core contributors and investors we talked about. So there is vesting on this one. No APT available for the 12 months. Then 3 for 20th, which means in other words, this is a 4-year vesting. They're gonna get 3 doses of vests of unvested coins on month 13, and this is going to be going monthly. So theoretically, no dump from investors and core contributors. Today, more than 82% of tokens of the networks are staked across all categories, which means there's another 18%, about 200 million coins, that are not accounted for, and we do not know if they're going to be dumped on us. So yes, vesting, but at the same time, 200 million in exchanges and in other kind of initiatives. Cheers to everyone. So pretty terrible piece, if you ask me. Not super bullish on the response they had on the community. At the same time, it bothers me because the play is too easy. It's too easy to read. It's too easy to follow. Like, how can we be in the loop for life changing money? Like, all of us. Think about it. This feels like oxygen. If you remember this listing on FTX from a Solana project called Oxygen with the ticker Oxy. It was right after the Radium listing, where in Radium, if you bought at the exact moment of listing, you would do a times 10 within 1 hour. So and this, the same thing had happened with what, Star Atlas, and the same thing had happened with so many IDOs, that it was too easy. Like, we knew the play. And when everybody knows the play, guess what? The play doesn't exactly play out as you expected. It goes usually the opposite direction. And I have this fear that the play is too easy, the circle jerk is too loud, the echo chamber is way too populated, and we're gonna be dumping on each other. And I'm scared about such an easy play. You can't have an easy play. We didn't know about Cardano when it was launching. We didn't know about Solana when it was launching. Ethereum was hacked, and 20% of its allocation of its circulating coins was stolen, and then they had to do a rollback. So, lots of bad things usually happen in the beginning. Lots of silent cobras emerge. So I just feel that this is such an easy play that it is shady. Uh, we see the same teams from Solana. We see Saber team, we see Solrise team, we see Marinade team, we see a bunch of the same people. We see the same freaking people. Uh, Competent teams that know how to work, they know how to ship, they know how to develop. Like, I have huge respect for the Solrise team. I'm using their wallet. If you want to have a wallet to interact with the Aptos blockchain, I totally recommend the Rise wallet. You come here, you download as an extension. I have my wallet here. Uh, you can go here, airdrop, get some Aptos from testnet, and soon enough we're gonna have mainnet. We're gonna be able to trade. We're gonna be able to interact with all the dApps, maybe mint some NFTs. We're definitely gonna do all these things together on the coming streams. At the moment, it's not live. We can't really purchase any coins. This is gonna happen tomorrow. So from next stream, we'll be playing around with Aptos dApps, which is gonna be super super funny. Uh, So, for those that are obviously asking, and this is where this is all going, is should you are you gonna ape into Aptos? Are you gonna buy it upon listing? Are you gonna try to play the market? So, I personally will not play the market, but I will buy a little bit. I will buy a tiny bit, and not because of FOMO, but because I want to have a little bit of Aptos in order to maybe mint a couple of NFTs, play around with dApps. This is not going to be an investment. This is not going to be an investment. This is going to be my sandbox, my sandpit. Let's put it like that. So where I can play with my castle and be hands-on. Like all the blockchains I've profited from by trading them are blockchains that I considered user friendly and I saw potential and I got involved. Like Solana in the beginning was a no-no. Like I remember there is a stream, episode 2 or something, where I'm like, oh shit, this is giving me Tezos vibes. But things improved, and they improved in real time. We were there to see it. So I'll buy a little bit of Aptos in order to play around, and I will be monitoring. At the same time, I think that there is an opportunity to make money. There is obviously going to be some kind of initial pump and then some kind of dump, and that's that's where we're gonna have to keep our eyes on. And when we see volume picking up, we can start accumulating and dollar averaging into Aptos. Same thing we're gonna do with Sui. So I see the chat wondering. Yes, we're going to be using Rise Wallet. This is the Aptos wallet coming from the Solfler team, which smells of Solana Beach. These guys have so many projects that are actually running and providing quite a lot of utility in the Solana network. They have Solfler wallet. They have the first blockchain explorer of Solana called Solana Beach, with the amazing graphics and really good taste in really good aroma. And they also have the trading platform Solana Dawn, Solflare, Solrise. Uh, so many of those. Please get us a beta code, guys. Get into, for anybody that's in the stream, beta access code needed. Get into their Discord and ping Taki Sol. Come on, you know these people. You get into their Discord, you click here, you get into the Discord, and you're like, get into this thing. Then you go to Rise Wallet, and you see, look who's posting. It's Taki Sol that's making all the posts. So you go to Rise chat and you say, hey, Taki Sol, you are the best community contributor. Yeah, it's Taki Sol. So you go there and you're going to ask him for a code, and he'll most probably give you a code. Don't take my word for this, but he will most probably give you a code. They're awesome guys. They're really awesome guys. I need to also point out, look at this Aptos price over here. Look at this. He has 2.28 Aptos, and Aptos is at $214. So guys, let's talk about fully diluted market cap. In order for Aptos to be at $200, it needs to be a $214 billion project. So it has a billion coins. For one coin to be $214, it needs to be a $214 billion coin, which makes it slightly under Bitcoin, way above Ethereum. So yeah, hold your horses. It ain't happening off the bat. It really needs to conquer the world for this to happen. So just relax. So what I'm going to do, buy a small bag to interact with the network and get my hands dirty. Keep my eyes open for the pump and the dump. I will not play with it. And once volume starts picking up, I will buy. I'm positive I will not buy the bottom, as I am positive I will not sell the top. And yeah, this is what we're going to do. And as we said, we're going to do this for every L1. We're going to spray and pray L1s with a slight higher weight on the new L1s, such as Aptos, Sui, and Say. Pert says, no pump and dump. It just goes to 213. Dude, imagine that. But yeah, that's what I think. That's what's going on with Aptos. If you have any better information, just please whisper me. Get into the Grape community. Let's talk about it. I saw Aptos at some point in this morning. They just launched, so this is no news. This means nothing. They dropped up to TPS, which is like 4 transactions per second, and that's nowhere close to the 160,000 plus that the network can sustain. So yeah, I would love you guys to maybe buy a little bit of dust, Aptos dust, so you can follow, so we can go to liquidity pools, get some stable coin, provide some liquidity, buy some NFT, use some kind of marketplace, and have some fun. You never know. You never know. You might be rewarded for your interaction. You might be rewarded for providing some liquidity. You might be rewarded for joining a community. You might be given a cool whitelist for a project. I mean, that's nothing to actually hope for, but hey, why not? It's fun. It's gonna get your hands even dirtier. So I think enough with Aptos. I think we all see what's going on here. Don't believe it. Like I just wait for it. Uh, there is no there are very low probabilities you'll be able to buy any coin the first second it's listed. If you're doing it through FTX, make sure you've deselected the ability. You've like closed your ability, completely shut off your ability uh, to get loans, because there's a high chance the whole exchange kind of bugs out and stalls. And if you don't manage to buy at the same at the first second, and you click the button many times, multiple orders are placed, and you're actually borrow money to open those positions. It happened to me specifically with Oxy, which I opened my position 7 times because I clicked the button 7 times. The exchange unfroze, and I was minus $17,000. It was a scary fucking night. I took the loss right there and then, and that was the best thing because it would have been much, much higher. Yes, Perth remembers it exactly as it happened. My friend Perth, I didn't buy at 3-4. I bought at 12. I bought at 12 because the moment the coin gets listed and everybody's pushing the button buy because you're hoping you're gonna catch it at cents, and then the the whole universe freezes, the exchange unfreezes. You check your buy orders, and what happened? I bought at $12 and immediately went down to 4. Good thing I got rid of it at 4 because it went down to 4 cents or whatever. So yeah, be careful out there. Be careful with the T equals 0 listings. Be careful. Just take your time. Don't follow the FOMO. And if you want a FOMO remedy, you want the FOMO remedy, just buy a tiny bit of dust. Play with the ecosystem, and if you get really positive vibes, and you've played with Solana, you've played with Ethereum, you've played with a bunch of things, you can assess if this thing is user friendly, if this thing was rushed into mainnet, if this thing was actually launched to front run Sui, if there is good development, good communities, and it's not full of airdrop hunters and zero value community members. I see the stream remembers better than me. I see Butter for Soul, Legend, and Perts, and Rihu, all the lovely friends from the past and the present, obviously, are telling me it was not Oxygen, it was Mercurial, it was Mercurial Finance, the first triple pool in Solana that kind of faded into oblivion, if you ask me. Uh, Huge potential that was never realized. So yeah, enough with Aptos. Let's talk. What else did we have to say? I have a list of things that we need to talk because I constantly forget. So yeah, we reminded everybody that we're in bear market and you should not get shaken out. It's the worst fucking thing to get shaken out in some isolated narrative during a bear market. What we gonna talk now? We just talked about Aptos, tokenomics, launch, a small overview of what this is and my feelings about it. And by the way, I'm usually wrong, so maybe you can counter trade me, counter indicator for many things. So be careful. I really want to talk about Cade Swap. Cade Swap. It's a new marketplace on Solana, and my mind is blown. Like if you remember, we a couple of streams ago, early September, we kind of went through it, but in a really quick way. And I have to admit that I didn't understand initially what we were like, what I was looking at. So I'm gonna share this because it's extremely interesting. And at the moment has zero fees. By the way, the whole platform has zero fees. So this is a marketplace. This is an NFT marketplace, but it's an NFT marketplace from the future on steroids because it functions just like your typical marketplace. It's still in beta, which means lots of features are being constantly rolled out, and when they exit their beta phase and get into mainnet, the fees are going to be risen, obviously, to I assume 1.5%, half percent in the range, in that range, sorry, 0.5 to 1.5%. We'll see how this goes. So you can. You can click on collections, and this is going to work exactly like your typical NFT marketplace. You're going to click on the collection and you can select anything you like and just go buy it. You can add it here, you swap, it's going to ask you to confirm from your wallet, and yeah, here you go. You bought an NFT. At the later stages, they've said they're going to have a toggle switch where you actually choose if you're going to offer royalties to the team or you're going to trade it at a discount, uh, or at a yes, at a discount, and actually pocket those rewards yourself or actually have them discounted. So it's either the seller wins and the buyer wins, and the uh, developer team loses. But yeah, you can work with you can just use it as a traditional marketplace, but obviously that's not what's exciting. uh, what's exciting is the pools, where you can create a pool, and let's get one wallet in. So what you can do is select a collection. I selected the first collection, the ABC. You can click on buy NFTs, and what you can do is actually create a basket where you can either put your NFTs to be sold, or you can add Solana for the basket to automatically buy NFTs. This is not extremely interesting to have a buy or a sell, but let's go through it. So if you want to sell NFTs, you will create a bucket. You're gonna place all your NFTs. You're gonna let's explore it. You're gonna say the spot price. This is actually the floor price. So if you were trading ABCs, you would just go check on the regular marketplaces to see how many listings there are, uh, how much is the floor, how much the floor moves, etc., etc. So you would put here the floor. Let's say the floor is 100 Solana, and then you have to create to choose the delta. You can choose between a linear curve and an exponential curve. You see, if I click on the exponential curve, this thing here changes from a percentage to sol. So linear curve is every next NFT that is being sold or bought is going to be one Solana more expensive or one more Solana cheaper. So if the pool is buying NFTs, it means that every next NFT should be one Solana cheaper, because you are buying as the floor is decreasing. You are DCAing into or out of a project. So you can also do it as an exponential, and you add percentage here and saying that every NFT, every next NFT that is bought or sold, its price is going to deviate, is going to change by 1%. You can do it to 5% if you want. Now, this this percentage here, if you want an idea of how you need to think about this percentage, if you're going to be these are really important little variables, because if the floor is really high, if we're talking about a DeGod or a Solana monkey business, and you are actually having an exponential curve of 5%, 5% is a lot, is a huge difference. So maybe you need to do either a small percentage or play with a linear curve. At the same time, this is going to have a huge impact on your impermanent loss, and we're going to talk about that as well, because if the floor goes to the moon, uh, yeah, you're going to be losing quite a lot if you have a linear curve, while you can save it a bit better if you have an exponential curve. But in every scenario, you're going to suffer from impermanent loss, especially uh, if it moves really really fast. uh, so yeah, buy and sell makes sense, it's easy, and the idea, lovely friends, is that if you have an NFT that you want to get rid of it, usually you need to go to a marketplace, list it, monitor the floor, and if either put it slightly under the floor and still hope that someone is interested in buying NFTs and doesn't care about its looks or its traits, and is going to just buy the lowest one. And you hope that at the moment that he's looking, the lowest one is yours, and that's how the NFT is bought. While in Cade Swap, what you can do is just sell it into a pool. Yeah, take a 1.5 Solana loss, sell it slightly lower, or even skip the creator royalties, and get your discount that way, and just instantly sell it. So this actually plays a huge market stabilizing mechanic. It allows for illiquid tokens to become slightly more liquid, and it opens the the gate to huge NFT degeneracy trading. But the most fun thing that these guys actually created, and huge props for them, because this is insane. They've created a two-sided pool. This is a straight full-on liquidity pool, and this is an uncentivized. Like there's no incentive. There's no incentive for providing liquidity other than the pool fees, and it's crazy. And like I can imagine a future where we're gonna have incentivized pools for this one, where collections are actually giving out maybe coins or maybe some kind of staked incentive or whatever, or some governance power for those that are actually providing liquidity for these. And trust me, if we see enough liquidity in the NFT world, we're gonna see other derivative projects pop out. Now, one can argue that not every market should be for derivatives. Not every market should be longed and short. There are markets that should not be longed and short, that we should not have derivatives, that these are non-fungibles that are working on scarcity. Like there are arguments there. There are arguments there, but there is no way you can convince someone from not trying. What the fuck? They're gonna try it. They're gonna try it out. And I'm glad there's going to be these brave souls that are gonna actually long and short with leverage NFT collections of lower quality. I want to see what's going to happen. So, how does this work? So, how it works is you have two pools. You are going to create a liquidity pool. One side is going to have a coin, in our case, Solana, and on the other side, you're going to have your collection that you want to actually create some liquidity for. You're going to add, let's assume that you have three ABC NFTs, and let's assume that the floor of the ABCs are 20 Solana each. And let's assume that we're going to have a linear curve of 2 Solana. So every next trade is going to be up higher or lower by two. What you need to do is, if you have three of those NFTs and you are the one creating the pool, you're gonna set, let's say, a 1% fee for every transaction, and you're gonna have to provide the three NFTs on one side and enough liquidity for those three NFTs to be traded, taking into account the delta. Meaning, you're gonna put 20 for the first, 19.85 on the next one, and 19.6 on the for the third one. And that way, if someone buys the sells into the pool, they will make less. If someone buys from the pool is going to have more money on the Solana side, which will facilitate more trades. And you can invite your friends to actually provide liquidity to this pool, and everybody will be making money from the fees. So pretty huge. Pretty that's like, this is a huge thing where someone says, I want to sell my NFT now. I need instant liquidity. This has been a problem since day one of illiquid portfolios full of JPEGs that can't be actually sold fast in order to get some Solana for some really important trade that can yield you quite a lot of profit. So yeah, now there is a way. You go into Hate Swap and you dump your NFT into one of those pools. And if you have a huge collection and you're actually willing to play around and make money through the fees, if you think that the collection floor is stable and it's not going to be going up fast in the foreseeable future, then yes, it makes sense for you to go and make the pool. Now, the pool is going to have impermanent loss. Anything that is connected to liquidity pools and the way they work in the crypto markets, in the DeFi markets, is going to get you some impermanent loss risk. What's impermanent loss? The easiest way to understand it is the potential that the potential profit that you lose because you have your NFTs in the pool. So if the floor goes to the moon and you are selling your NFTs for every next one is 2 Solana more expensive, while the floor has gone to 200 Solana further up from where you had your floor pool, you've missed on quite a lot of potential profit. At the same time, if the floor dumps really hard, then you are also pretty okay. So the way you need to think about impermanent loss is the potential lost profit from having your stuff into the pool. And it's called impermanent because you don't take any loss until you exit the pool, until you realize that loss. You haven't taken it as long as you remain in the pool, because the floor might go up and the floor might go down, and then in the end you might get your money exactly back plus fees. So yes, that's why it's called impermanent, and it exists in every liquidity pool out there. If you want more stuff on impermanent loss, you just go to my YouTube channel and you're gonna type impermanent loss. It's going to be 20 different videos of going through impermanent loss calculators, playing with impermanent loss scenarios, seeing how incentives can actually counterbalance the loss that the impermanent loss risk. And yeah, you'll definitely find quite a lot of times I got really burned, plus a couple of times that I actually won. So yes, this is Hate Swap. As we said, like a question to the lovely friends that know Hate Swap: is it the same team behind ABC NFT? Are ABC NFT holders going to be receiving the platform fees, the overall platform fees? Because if that's the case, and this is written in stone in any way that you can do that in the crypto world, I think that this is a really good buy. And I kind of loved the way the ABC collection launched, where everything was put on the marketplace at the same amount of Solana. No rarity table was ever released, and people just went and bought. And they bought through the marketplace. There was no mint, there was no such thing. Uh, so yeah, So it's interesting time in the NFT world. It's really nice to see all these developments from up close. You'll see the innovation. You'll see the builders shipping constantly. I'm constantly amazed by the ecosystem that Solana has spawned. The way the all the dApps interact with each other, the way the teams communicate, the governance layer that has spawned through Realms and Sebastian and Mango. It has given us so much ups and downs, so many adventures, and I have to say that it's nice for people that are getting accustomed with protocol risk, with risk engine calibration, and I'm happy that some people are understanding the dangers of DeFi. And I know that for many of you, the first real introduction of such a hacking of such an exploit in the Solana network was with Mango. Because yeah, we saw Casio as well implode, we saw Saber leave, we saw all this bullshit, but Mango Max is really close. Mango Max and Co. and friends are really close to the Solana Foundation, the Solana Labs. They are responsible for lots of bullish developments and shipments on Solana. So yeah, this was a big blow, but this was totally legal, and this was a bad calibration of the risk engine. Uh, so yeah, Solana is awesome. I'm bullish long term. Uh, Not too long though, because reminder to all the people out there, we're flipping shitcoins to make more Bitcoin. Like we all know we're into this together. Don't let the narrative consume you. Don't believe the circle jerk. Just exit. Stand from a high and eat your popcorn. You remember this meme where these two chicks fighting and the guy with the bong. Be that guy. Be the guy hitting the bong and watching the others fight. Uh, so yeah, cool stuff with hate swap. It's important to understand the delta here. If it's going to be a linear and exponential, this has to do with the floors, the liquidity, and how much money is being actually traded. Uh, yeah, that's it. That's it with hate swap. Another thing that I'm seeing through the in the ecosystem now that the royalties are gone, there's going to be so much wash trading. Like wash trading and money laundering and fake volume is going to be a menace. Going to be a huge issue. We're gonna be constantly questioning volumes and sales and buys. Bots reporting sales and buys on Twitter are gonna be broken from the money laundering that's gonna be happening, the wash trading that's gonna be happening. That's the easiest way to change accounts. You know, if you want to wash your Solana NFTs, you without any connection, you just pretend you bought an NFT from one account to the other. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because the way we are interacting with the space, yeah, we're kind of begging for regulation to step in and kind of save the whole thing. So yeah, that's it with hate swap. We covered 3 out of 4 points that I needed to go through. The last point is breakpoint. I expect it to be breakpoint is the biggest Solana celebration of the year. This is the biggest conference. This is something like consensus in Ethereum. Uh, it's the second iteration of breakpoint. You can actually find it on Twitter as Solana Conf. Solana Conf. See, you go here. This is breakpoint. This is the second iteration. It's going to happen from the first to the seventh. I have a cool link for you. If you, first of all, even if you're not attending, you need to keep your eyes on it. You need to see who is going to be speaking on the panels, what are they going to be talking about, and what's coming to Solana the coming year. What kind of hackathons, what kind of initiatives, what are the main focus areas. Uh, last year's Breakpoint, which I'm sporting a T-shirt at the moment, it was given in the goodie bag, was sold out about a month prior to the event. Sorry, about a week prior to the event. We're seeing that at the moment all the cheap tickets are already sold out for this time, for the second iteration, and there are quite a lot of side events. I want to share a link with you, lovely friends. It's gonna be shared on Twitch. So this is it. This is coming from Blast Control. It's a bunch of developers helping so many projects on Solana. They don't have a coin. You don't see them as investors. These are builders. These are mercenary builders that are going to be hired by teams in order to produce quality work. Uh, so if you go to that link that I just opened, you're going to see a list of events. These are all happening uh, October to November in Lisbon. There are parties, there are dinners, there are talks, there are workshops, there are conferences, there are pitch competitions, there are networking events, there are drinks, there are just there is even a race, a kart race, and depending on what NFTs you're holding, if you're holding a Google, if you're holding some monkeys, if you're holding a who else? Who else? The geckos, I think we're having the cats on crack. Have a fantastic party for holders only. The like Strip DAO, which is a bunch of developers as well. The Solana Foundation's games, which is really fun because they're going to be showing Web3 games on Solana. There is the bear market rally, which lots of uh, famous crypto personas like Kyle Samani and a bunch more are going to be racing with their racing carts, and the prizes go to charity, and it's going to be quite a lot of fun. Uh, I think that you should definitely have this list on your phone if you're attending, and make sure to apply on as many events as possible, because honestly, guys, there's not going to be any tickets left if you just show up in the door at the door. And I've been a monkey holder since a very long time. Oh, shit, monkey DAO. And look at this. These are the events that I have access just by holding a monkey. I have two. I have three dinners, toast with monkeys. Yes, great. Yeah, I registered. You see. And now, if you go to my events, my dashboard, and I go to events, look at this upcoming events. I have four events. I have the boss event, the builders by builders. I have the reputation and membership workshop. Yes, how did I forget? I needed to talk about that. Lighthouse and a member of the Grape community and member of Lighthouse called Potro, or in other words, Patrick. He's hosting a reputation and membership workshop how to design a dope DAO experience, how to actually work it, and how to actually create all this on-chain governance. I'll be there. I hope to help some teams. I hope to actually exchange some of the knowledge and the insight we've had with DAOs and DAO creation and governance protocols. So if you're in Lisbon on on Sunday, November 6th, this is during the days of Breakpoint. Please come to this workshop. Let's talk about DAOs. Let's talk about problems and fun moments, but also let's explore what we can do together, how we can improve DAO experience, DAO flows, and DAO management in general. Because for that management, also need experts, but you also need tooling. So it's really fun. And the concept of reputation and DAO reputation and on-chain reputation, that has a higher cost of creating a new account than carrying negative reputation. This is an insane problem when it comes to this kind of open uh, 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 technologies, because if my account receives negative reputation, I can just create a new account and start from scratch. But the system needs to be calibrated in a way where my negative reputation has more weight and is more important than zero reputation. So this is a tricky part. I really want you to guys join this one if you're part of the Grape DAO, if you're part of the Mango DAO, if you're part of Lighthouse, if you're part of Civic, if you're part of Sail, if you're part of anybody that's working on DAOs and has a model DAO like Grape. See you in Lisbon. Make sure not to not to actually miss this event. A huge shout out to Patrick for organizing it. He's one of the people that I think like. I think he is the best type of personality to be part of the Grape DAO and to be developing these kind of models in our ecosystem. So yeah, I think we covered all points for today. We reminded everybody it's Bear. We gave an opinion and an introduction to Aptos. We made some plans on how we're going to deal with the token launch and what's going to be the strategy later on. We spoke about the breakpoint events and which ones I'll be attending and where you can find me. And we also interacted with HateSwap and we explained a little bit of how you can create a strategy. Forgot to mention that all these things that I said about NFTs in HateSwap, you can do it with specific rarity NFTs. So if you have, like, let's say 3 skeleton monkeys, you can create a pool for skeleton monkeys, and the floor should reflect the skeleton monkey floor. So there are details that you're going to have to get your hands dirty in order to understand and explore. If you have any questions, my DMs are open. I prefer Discord or Twitter, but if you find another way, please go ahead. I think we should finish here. We've crossed the 1 hour duration that I usually aim for. Rihu is asking, guys, should I buy Utes? I'll have. I can't give any opinions on that. I hold 2 Utes at the moment, and I haven't sold them, and it might be a bad idea. So I don't know. I can't give any uh, predictions on this one. Since I went ahead and bought, I'm obviously bullish on it, or I've just drank way too much hopium. I usually do that. I make mistakes and I get burned. I'm net negative on NFTs. So, on that note, stay lovely, stay awesome, stay in the market, and don't believe the narratives. Help your friends, help your community, remain positive and healthy and smiling. Book your tickets for Breakpoint, and let's vibe, let's party, let's drink, let's do whatever over there. I love you all. You allow me to keep going. I'm super thankful for the new and the old friends that I've made through the show. And yeah, uh, LFG, let's fucking go. I love you all. Take care.